Hello, this is Marvel Matt. Welcome to the Comic Time Show. And today we're going to mix some things up on the show. I'm going to make a prediction. Just a little prediction. Now, some people know that I am a blogger at Toy Lab. Last year, I made a prediction about this time of year that Marvel sales were going to fall this year and DC sales were going to rise. I predicted that based off what I knew going into DC Rebirth, and just seeing what I saw at conventions, talking to creators. It just seemed like that was a very strong show, and Marvel just seemed kind of lost and going down a path that I thought was going to continue to lose them more and more readers. That prediction turned out to be dead on, and I would say, if anything, it wasn't harsh enough on Marvel because their sales have just continued to fall. Now, I don't want to make another video bashing Marvel. I love Marvel, really. They just have had a really hard time recently. It'd be really easy just to create a big bash Marvel video. I think lots of people are doing that, especially after the X-Men Gold fiasco that just happened. But I don't want to do that. I'd rather talk about something kind of positive. So I'm going to avoid getting the easy views of just bashing Marvel. Instead, I want to talk about something kind of positive. It's a positive thing, though, that's not at Marvel, which is what I normally talk about. And my new prediction has nothing to do with Marvel, other than I would say that Marvel has given an opening to some other companies in the comic book industry by doing poorly. Now other companies can come in and begin to get more shelf space and get noticed. And I've been kind of waiting for someone to steal that moment and grab that opportunity by the horns, and I have found that company. I have seen that comic book that does that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. My prediction is that the X-O Manowar comic from Valiant this year is going to become a top 10 book in sales this year. I think it's going to be that big of a book. The first one has already sold, according to Valiant, 90,000 units, which is huge, and they just put it out for third printing. I think it's going to continue to grow from that point, which is crazy because normally comic books fall after their first issue, but this book is just so good, I think it's going to grow from there. And man, like as a person who's making videos and blogging, like in some sense, the one thing you don't want to talk about is something like Valiant, because there's only so many people who care about comic books enough to listen to one of these videos. Lots of people care about comic book characters, especially as they relate to the films, but only so many relate to comic book characters. And so then you take that population, and it's fairly small, and then you break it down even a little bit more to say, here's the guys that care about Marvel, here's the guys that care about DC. Well, now, when you talk about something like Valiant, you're even breaking that population up even, like, again. And so you're talking about this real microcosm of people. And so who are you going for views for that? But the reason I'm talking about it is because this comic book is so good, and the other plans for the company at Valiant are so good, that I think that while this video may not get much attention today or tomorrow, I think it may get more attention a couple months from now as kind of a bandwagon grows around this book and around this company. And I'm going to go into why. Like, what do I see from Valiant that just tells me that they're ready to just kind of pop like that? And there's a few reasons. They just had their Valiant Summit, which is just kind of like their own personal little Comic-Con to tell everyone, get everybody excited about their stuff. Everybody kind of does stuff like that. The thing that struck me about Valiant is that they did it through Twitch, and they then took the video of the Twitch broadcast, and they put it on YouTube. And now anybody can watch it. Anybody can pull video from it. It just made that whole summit very accessible. And to a YouTuber, to a blogger like me, that's really great because you can use that as a resource. And it just seemed to be very ahead of the curve. and they had everybody there. Like anyone who was anywhere at Valiant was there, and it was just a really well done thing. And they went through basically all their plans for the year. It's now very easy for me to sit here and talk about it. And if you care about seeing that summit, you yourself can go to YouTube and you can watch it. It's that easy. I'm just smart and a little bit ahead of the curve. Now, the other thing, well, the reason why we're here, let's just say the reason why we're here is they had this book come out called X-O Manowar, #1. The first one of the relaunch series. It's one of their first characters at Valiant. Those who don't know much about Valiant, which I'm not hating on you if you don't, because not many people know much about Valiant. I know about it because it came out in the 90s when I was a kid, and I liked some of their initial books. X-O Manowar was one of the first characters. Kind of a sci-fi character. Just awesome. It's kind of like mixed Conan the Barbarian mixed with, I don't know, some science fiction thing. A bit a Warlord of Mars, but modernized. This new relaunch of this series, though, is just amazing. Like the artwork, just the first page. You open up the first page and you know that you're reading something better than you've read in years. And it just keeps going. There's no exposition. This comic book just moves. And it's just jam-packed. I mean, the first book is just probably one of the best first books I've read in years. I mean, it's really that good. It really just punches you in your face and says, yes, I am the best book you've read. It is kind of like it's a statement book. I mean, to be frank with you, it's just like Valiant saying, dude, we're here and we're going to make better books than everybody else. And that's why it's been selling so much. It's just off word of mouth. You know, one guy picks us up at a store and tells all his buddies. And that's basically what they're counting on. The other thing going on at Valiant right now, and the reason I think they're going to pop, is they're also doing stuff in the film space. And there's going to be a movie called Ninjak vs. the Valiant Universe. Ninjak is one of their main characters, and he's going to basically be fighting all the other characters, or a lot of them at least, in the Valiant universe. They have Jason David Frank, the Green Power Ranger. He's on that project, and he is going to be Bloodshot, one of their main characters. I just think, even just based off his fan base, there's going to be lots of word of mouth. There's going to be lots of hype around it just based off that project and other film projects they have planned. So, I guess what I'm saying is, watch out for Valiant. I think they're going to explode. I really think they're going to explode. I think there's so much word of mouth that's positive right now about it. When I talk to people in like comic book stores, the people who really know comic books are just talking Valiant right now. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that that's happening. But the comic store owner guys are just like, man, that X-O Manowar was just like crazy. And a lot of them are thinking about, man, how do I like promote this? Because you have this high quality product, but nobody comes into your stores like looking for that per se, and it's kind of a weird thing. But I think at some point it's going to happen. You know, when high quality books like this happen, whether it be kind of like Saga or The Walking Dead, and they aren't quite in that space, eventually they get found. I think it's just a matter of time. And if they keep producing books like this, you know, forget about it. Just forget about it. We could be talking about the big three after this year, if that really continues to happen. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. I would love to talk more about this X-O Manowar series. I've now read the first one and the second one. And the second one might be even better than the first one. And just really good. I've enjoyed some books recently from Marvel. Once again, I'm not hating. I've enjoyed a lot of the DC Rebirth. I've been liking a lot that I read there. I've just finished kind of the Batman Bane story. Good books, but not this good, man. Not this good. This is it. X-O Manowar. And once again, I'm just some dude. Valiant's not paying me anything to tell you this. I just think people need to know. You know, you go to a comic book store, how do you spend your money? Check this out. You will not regret it. That's Marvel Matt. I'm out.